Hello again. There are currently 4 YouTube channels devoted exclusively to being rude and untruthful about me. I'm a person of normally inquisitive nature, and so from time to time I have a look to see what's being said, but it's seldom interesting enough to hold my attention for long. There are hints that I'm a paedophile or homosexual, or that my wife is run off with a black man and so on, the kind of thing which many of us found amusing as adolescents. Somebody directed me to such a channel which I had not seen before recently, and I had a bit of fun there teasing the fellow running it. I learned today from looking at the comments that one of the other men who operate a similar channel devoted to I'm trying to think how to put it politely, pursuing me or commenting on me perhaps, has now had it closed down by YouTube, for which he apparently blames me. This is not the first time that he's had a channel closed down in this way. It's all a bit mad, so I thought I would talk a little about how YouTube works and why I am able to keep going year after year, while those who run channels dedicated to insulting me find theirs being closed down. On the face of it, it seems a little bit unfair, but there's no real mystery about it, and it has nothing at all to do with me. YouTube have a set of what they call community guidelines, which are essentially rules about what you can and can't do in videos on YouTube. Some are obvious, for example, not showing people how to make guns or deadly weapons or all sorts of other things to do with illegal drugs and so on. Other guidelines cover stuff like harassment, which means running a channel with the sole purpose of attacking an individual and trying to make people dislike that person. I did not make these rules. YouTube sometimes stretch a point on this if the subject of such a channel is a public figure, Donald Trump, say, or perhaps a pop singer like Taylor Swift. Even then, they frown on anything which looks like stalking. The last time I checked out the channel of the fellow who has just had his channel closed down, I was a little taken aback at the amount of violent sexual language being used when he referred to me. I have no objection whatever to people swearing. I swear like a trooper myself, but not quite in the same way as this is being done. The word fuck was thrown about liberally. And not only that, but another word, a 4-letter one beginning with C. On the last video of his which I watched there, I was astonished to note that he used that word no fewer than 18 times about me in the course of a little over 2 minutes. This word, which the Oxford English Dictionary says is used to signify a mean and obnoxious person, which I think is the neatest definition for that particular word when used as an insult you can think of, is not one which I've ever used myself in a pejorative sense, for 2 reasons. The first is that almost all women find it horribly offensive. Secondly, it tells me something about a man if the most offensive word he can lay his hands on is one which properly refers to female genitalia. Is that really the worst thing in the world for such people? Fancy using that part of the female anatomy as a deadly insult. I have always found I lose all respect for any man whom I hear using that word as a swear word. When I hear a man use this term 18 times in a couple of minutes, I assume, rightly or wrongly, that he has a problem relating to women, that he is an unpleasant customer. I have, by the way, seen a photograph of him. Someone identified him to me because they thought that I might want to take action, legal action relating to him. I've seen a photograph of him wearing the white ribbon on his lapel, which shows his supposed solidarity with women who are victims of male violence. Very rummy and rather confirms what I suspected when I first saw him throwing that word about so freely. I hope it doesn't seem that I've gone off at a chat tangent here. You see, if you devote an entire channel to this kind of thing, with a stream of videos aimed at some random old guy whom you violently dislike, then sooner or later YouTube will notice and close down your channel. In addition to reacting to specific complaints, YouTube have got various roaming, I don't know what you would call them, algorithms perhaps, that patrol their system and look at random videos sometimes to check them out, which I imagine is how his channel came to their attention. They do regard that kind of thing as next door to stalking and harassment. I've not complained about it, nor have I complained about the other channel which I've been looking at from time to time. This one has my picture on every one of the 20 videos and my name, and there's all sorts of hints that I'm a paedophile and so on. That one too is skating on perilously thin ice. And if somebody does draw YouTube's attention to it, then I dare say that too will be terminated. In short, it is a bad idea to make videos which consist chiefly of violent sexual language directed at one particular individual and then post them on YouTube. This is particularly so at the moment, with social media companies under threat from the government of being ordered to clean up their act. If you call someone an Anglo-Saxon word which indicates that you consider him a mean and obnoxious person 18 times in 2 minutes and 7 seconds, then not only will you risk having your channel closed down, but normal people will think that you've got some sort of problem with women. Awful use of language.